The Fanfiction Power Hour is a comedy podcast between friends that does not attempt straightforward readings. The links to the fanfictions are in the description if you would prefer an unaltered experience and to support the authors by giving the stories a like. Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Jen and Wizzy's Fanfiction Power Hour. I'm your host, Jen Reaper, and with me here today, as always, is my co-host, Wizzy Puffs. Say hello, Wizzy.
Hello, everybody.
He's so cute.
Aw, thank you.
Like a pet. Like a little puppy.
Okay. I guess that still sounds complimentary, but this is giving me visions of Invincible, and it's not making me any less uncomfortable.
Would it help if I said you were my puppy?
Okay. A little bit.
See. Anyways, welcome back to Jen and Wizzy's Fanfiction Power Hour, everybody. The podcast where I take my friend Wizzy through the magical journey of My Little Pony fanfiction. Haven't said that in a while.
Gotta remind them, though.
Yeah. Today, we are finishing up Pride Month with some fantastic stories here. Yeah, how's this Pride Month been for you, buddy?
I'll be honest, started out really strong. And now I'm just kind of trying to fill that void of man. That was really good. Like, these have been good. These have been like nicotine patches after you've had an addiction to cigarettes for a while.
Right.
But you don't get the same rush anymore. I really want to find another story that has a twist like that one does.
Yeah, same. Maybe we'll get into it with this first story that we're going to be reading today, Mirror Shards by Awesomeness.
Oh, Awesomeness?
Yeah, Awesomeness. It's AWSOMNESSS.
The most awesome way to spell it.
Yep. They have only made one story on the site. They have been offline since 2020.
Oh no!
And they only have 9 followers.
I hate seeing anyone who is offline since 2020. That scares me.
Just because they have, let's face it, lacking numbers doesn't mean that this story will be any worse off.
Yeah, I mean, look at that ratio on the dislike counter.
Yep. Reminds me of certain ratios for other stories. Alright, so we're just gonna get into it now. This is Mirror Shards by Awesomeness. Chapter: The Sound of Blood. He could not believe it. It was impossible. He wasn't prepared for this. As Golden Grape trotted home, he held a good face. The ponies around him didn't seem to notice anything. They were all having a good time in the warm summer sunlight, and if you all want to have a good time in the warm summer sunlight, you all should go down in the description below and read the story for yourself.
This one's actually going to be coming out in the summertime.
We are fairly wacky, so you know, you might want to read it for yourself if you don't want us to ruin it for you. But if you just want to listen to us, that's fine too, I guess. You can always just go down into the description and give the story a like. And the same with the other one. They were all having a good time in the warm summer sunlight. Good. No matter what, no one could know. Or they would surely throw him out. For who wants a stallion like him? When he finally arrived home, he hurried inside and closed the door. Immediately, his facade broke, and he started to whimper, and his legs were starting to shake. Taking a deep breath to calm down, he made his way up to his bedroom. Well up, He broke down completely. His shaking grew from a couple of shudders to straight out spasms, and his breathing was ragged and high pitched. He went through the events over and over again in his head, like he had the whole way home. I guess this is a doo-doo-doo? We'll say that's a doo-doo-doo, I
Yeah.
guess.
You make it sound gay, though.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Gay.
What do you want?
This reminds me of Adagio from Half Naked Santa.
Yeah.
It's like the sexy Russian-sounding voice.
Whatever the fuck I did there. Yeah, that's still one of my favorite voices.
Yeah.
I've been trying to capture that essence. I've tried to capture that essence in the past, but it hasn't worked out as well.
I really did like that voice.
One of the best. Noteworthy was looking at him. His light brown eyes seemed to shimmer in the sun. Or were they dark orange?
I just wanted to...
He began, but hesitated.
What if he doesn't feel the same? What if he hates the very thought of being with another stallion?
Golden Grape looked down on the ground, avoiding the blue stallion's eyes. Those eyes, he thought, he wanted to drown in them, to never look away. Those eyes that took away his breath every time they looked at him. If only... Golden, is there something wrong? You're acting rather strange. He took a step closer, leaning his head down as if to catch the beige pony's attention. Golden's heart skipped a beat.
No, it's all right.
He took a deep breath and looked straight into Noteworthy's eyes.
I just want to tell you something.
Yes? The blue pony was starting to get impatient. God, just tell me already. Jesus. This is why no one would ever love you, you stupid idiot. Stupid hot idiot.
Stupid idiot with awesome pecs and an 8-pack that could shred cheese.
It'd be really funny if Noteworthy did think that he was hot, but didn't want to date him because he was just a stupid idiot. Not because he's not gay.
So you are really attractive, but I need someone on my intellectual level. I want to see that dynamic actually happen in the show now.
Yeah. Dang, man.
It's just that I...
He was starting to blush as he stammered the oh-so-important words. He closed again. I think he closed his eyes again.
That's what I was hoping.
He closed again and gave it his all.
I love you.
Damn, dog.
You really went for it.
You know, you got the spirit, I guess.
You could have been a little slower with it.
Could have let him into it a bit. But,
relationships don't start out of nothing.
I guess, just ripping off that Band-Aid is good for you.
It's better than not having done it, I'll say that.
Yeah. Silence. Too much silence. Golden Grape opened his eyes slowly, afraid of seeing the reaction of the pony opposite. The blue stallion's face was shocked, but making a hesitant smile. You're joking, right? He said to the love-struck stallion. This is a joke, right? He made a half-hearted laugh.
Aww.
Oof. Oh, my poor boy. Also, this has the gore tag, by the way.
Oh God, I didn't even notice that. Oh no.
This might have been... Just in case, go down to the description, guys, and look at the content warnings. Because I've decided to start putting those in there.
I think you mean Tom has.
Yeah. Golden Grape's heart fell, as did his face. Seeing the reaction to his words, Noteworthy proceeded. Not? What the heck, Golden? I respected you as a bro. But that is just wrong. He looked almost angry or betrayed, but he mostly looked disgusted. I can't believe you would do this to my boy Noteworthy.
Who is Noteworthy?
A background pony, I'm pretty sure.
I think he was like in the first episode that we recorded, but I don't recall who he is at all.
I think he's just a background pony with a... I can't remember which symbol it is, but he's got like a music symbol on his butt.
Oh, Noteworthy. I get it.
Yeah. It's like a unicorn. I think he's usually in shades or something.
Nice.
He looked almost angry or betrayed, but he mostly looked disgusted. He mostly looked disgusted. Disgusted. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Golden Grape tried to suppress the tears that started emerging. His throat ached and his spasms became more violent. He fought a sob and went to the mirror. There he was, the stallion that had confessed his love to Noteworthy, the most beautiful pony in all of Equestria. That blue coat, that even darker blue mane, and those eyes. That's just wrong. There was no wail, only a low gurgle, but his mouth was open as to scream in agony. He couldn't wail, not here, not now, not ever. If the other ponies heard him, looked disgusted.
Why?
He moaned, careful not to be loud.
Why can't I love him? Why does it have to be wrong?
He looked in the mirror again as he continued his rant.
Would it be different if I was a mare? Would he have thought of it as a joke then? But no, a stallion can't fall in love with the cool and good-looking Noteworthy. That would be wrong.
Glad we're on the same page. All right, next story.
The end. That was Mirror Shards by Awesomeness.
Well, Wizzy, what did we think? We just completely go through the whole thing before getting back to it.
You know, I really thought this was nice. It was all about Noteworthy standing his ground, asserting himself as a straight stallion.
What a great character Noteworthy is, quite frankly. I really respect him. I think we need more people like him.
Oh, God.
That's what's wrong with America.
Mm-hmm.
Now he had turned his sadness into anger. He was angry at Noteworthy, angry at Ponyville, angry at Celestia, but most of all, angry at himself.
Had I only been a mare, he would have loved me. He would have never thought I was disgusting.
I respected you.
Enough. Make it stop already. Make it stop.
Golden Grape bit his foreleg. Hard. There was more gurgling, and tears started to roll from his eyes. He could hardly take it any more. All the feelings, they were overwhelming. As the thoughts spun around his head, faster and faster, he bit harder and harder. Drip, drop, drip, drip, shatter. Do-do-do-do-do-do. His head hurt badly, and his hooves throbbed, releasing a cascade of pain with each new heartbeat. He opened his eyes, but was afraid of what he might see. The first thing he noticed was that it was dark, meaning night had fallen. Night, huh? He didn't think he'd be out so long. Then he realized he lay right next to a bunch of mirror shards. Some of them red in the corners.
Wait a second. Mirror shards?
I have no idea what you're going on about.
Oh, sorry, I thought maybe that was a different story. I'm sorry.
God, why would anybody ever like you?
Enough. Make it stop already.
some of them red in the corners. Red, like blood, but dried. Actually, blood is brown when it's dried.
Good point. This is clearly a fake blood scene.
Officer, take him away. He looked down at his hooves and realized they were covered in crusts, probably dark red, but in that darkness they seemed black. When he tried to stand up, the pain made itself noticed. And he grimaced. That action made him feel stiffness in his face, and looking down on the broken mirror shards, he saw that his face had streams of blood, now dried, originating from his forehead. Not the first time someone has bled from the head this month.
Wait a minute. Who else was this month? Was that
It was Fairy Tale of Canterlot City.
It was when she fell from the chair, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Lemon zest. My God. Took me way too long.
There you go, buddy.
You guys got to go listen to the Fairy Tale of Canterlot City.
Listen to all of the Pride Month ones.
It's the first place I realized that Canterlot City was the place that Equestria Girls takes place.
Wizzy's slow on the intake sometimes.
That's not true. It was never made an actual, a significant point until that fan fiction, because it was in the title.
Didn't have to be a significant point for you to notice.
Okay, maybe it did. Things just fall out of my head. Like your birthday. January... November. Yeah, that's what I was getting to. November
22nd.
22nd. I'm sorry. Yeah, of course. 22nd.
1993.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
That'll keep the FBI off my back.
Great. This'll be easy to hide.
He looked around the room, trying to find some clues about his former actions. It all looked fairly normal, except from the area by the mirror. Not to mention the mirror itself. It had been shattered in the middle, and its shards lay stained with dried, salty tears and dried blood.
Looks like I'll be up all night cleaning, huh?
Laugh track. He said, not looking forward to it. But first things first, the wounds needed caring for, or at least be covered up and hidden. That would require bandages, as well as a cover-up story. Had he slipped and fallen into the mirror? Yeah, that sounded okay, as long as he didn't elaborate, or put too many details in it. He sighed and thought to himself, as he thought about the coming week and the awkwardness around a certain pony.
Why is it never easy?
Fuck, man. Author's note. This is my first finished fanfiction, as well as my first story about love, so please go easy on me. Little face thing. Feedback is always welcome, since it helps me get better at writing. Negative feedback too, but do keep it civilized. I drew the picture myself, so I need not credit anyone but me. Which I just did. Love and tolerate. D. The end. That was Mirror Shards by Awesomeness. Well, Wizzy, what did we think of it?
Oh my goodness. I really like this one. It actually explored the concept of, being gay and getting rejected for that type of thing.
Yeah.
We've never read fan fiction that covers this topic specifically, but I think that we've read fan fiction that covers emotional topics similar to this with a lot more like kid gloves. And I think that this one was a little more cathartic, and I really enjoyed that. This is kind of what
Yeah.
I was looking for this month because, we're going for the whole theme of tragedy.
Yeah.
And I think we did that pretty well for the lesbians, but we're kind of getting more into it for the gay men now,
Yeah.
I feel like men kind of we kind of suffer a bit more than the women in this society.
Sorry?
um I mean, I'm a feminist too. I swear.
Uh-huh. I'll unwrap that later.
Okay, back to the story. What did you think?
I really liked this one. First off, I don't know what this one does specifically, but it does homophobia better than any other fic. I think the homophobia in this one is fucking heartbreaking. And it makes me want to throttle Noteworthy. That fucking piece of shit. Fuck that guy.
Right, he should have said yes. He should have been like, I will go out with you, even though I'm straight.
Yeah. He should have. I mean, come on, it's Pride Month, dude. Jesus.
Right? Like, I asked this guy to kiss me because it's Pride Month and I'm gay. And he's like, who are you? And I'm like, it doesn't matter, kiss me. And he said no.
That reminds me of this one time where this guy came up to me and he said, hey, kiss me, it's Pride Month and I'm gay. And I'm like, dude, no. Who are you? The nerve of some people, right?
Right? No one knows boundaries well enough in this country.
Yeah. Oh, God. Really, I think we get the worst of it. You and me, us specifically. Just us two people. Why are we so oppressed?
Truly. We are the most oppressed. But I guess our guy Golden Grape is also pretty oppressed.
Right, so this story, the writing, the writing is a bit of a mixed bag. It could have used an editor. There were a lot of things where I'm like, that should have been written a bit differently. But also, I really like the flow of the story. The way it's written is told very let's just say, I think this is one of the most perfectly paced stories that we've read in recent memory.
Okay.
And I really think that while the sentences themselves aren't that great, the way they sort of, I don't know, I guess flow. I haven't taken an English literature class, so I don't know, but I just really like how a lot of this stuff was worded. I don't know. I feel like we really got into Golden Grape's head here. Poor dude. I want to give him a hug. I don't know.
Yeah. I've never actually been in his situation, but I feel like I understand his feeling here,
Yeah.
Because, I could totally imagine that being me in that situation where it's just, actually opening up to someone like that and hoping at the very least that you just get softly let down with someone who still wants to be friends with you, but at the same time you don't know that they're not going to react this way.
Yep.
And that's scary.
Coming out is hard enough. Coming out
Yeah.
by telling your friend that you love them, let's face it, he could have handled that better. Both sides could have handled this situation better. It was probably very sudden for Mr. Noteworthy here. But
yeah.
I don't blame you for reacting like, oh, didn't see this coming. I do blame you for reacting like an asshole, Mr. Noteworthy. Fuck you.
Yeah. It's you can be shocked, but don't just absolutely crush the person.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I wish it went a little bit into the next day at work, and then it has like him just kind of sulking around while trying to avoid Noteworthy, and that's how it ends. That's how I would have done it, but I understand. Only 1,000 words. That makes sense.
Yeah. Either way, this is your first Fanfiction awesomeness, and also your last, January 2013. Great job.
Damn.
Like, yes, a pony
Seriously.
creator avatar. Jesus.
That's crazy.
Quite possibly a kid.
I could imagine someone like this, though, who just like has an idea and needs to get it out, even though they're not going to make other stories.
Yeah. It's very unfortunate that they didn't make other stories. I would have loved to see more from them.
Yeah.
But that was that. Let's move on. And for our next story, we are going to be reading 10 Things I Hate About You by the Otter Guy. I've seen the Otter Guy around a bit. I don't think we've done anything else by him. I think we've done a few stories that are like edited by him, maybe, or pre-read or something like that.
I'm sure he's much better than the other guy.
Oh, wow. You fucking dick. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I keep comparing people on this site.
Don't make fun of him like that. Anyways, the Otter Guy is, well, they write horror, they write gay, and they write gay horror. Gay! That's their little thing. And their avatar looks like a little Muppet with flailing arms. Little otter Muppet.
So good.
Spaghetti noodle arms. It's very cute and I like it. So anyways, 10 Things I Hate About You by the Otter Guy. This is an entry for the 1,000 Words contest under Angst. And it's pre-read by our boy, the Sleepless Beholder. Let's go.
You! Man. Doesn't even have sunflower. Sunflower? Wallflower. Jesus Christ. Somehow I shipped Wallflower with Sunburst in my mind.
I mean, well, look, Wizzy, you're not going to want me to say this. I actually can see it, kind of.
Nope, he's too gay.
But that's because I have a specific idea of Sunburst in my head from the show. You have a different idea of Sunburst because all we've read about him is gay shit.
I think we've had one fan fiction where he wasn't, and it was like Duped or something.
Shoot, was he in Duped? Like, it would make sense.
I can't remember. He was in something where he was just like a minor guy to Trixie or Starlight. I think it was Starlight.
Yeah, that would make sense. Anyways, let's see if this changes your opinion on Sunburst.
Makes him straight. Okay.
10 Things I Hate About You by the Otter Guy. Chapter 10 Things I Hate About You. It was a gorgeous sunny morning in Canterlot. Sunburst sat at the edge of a stone step, looking up at the clear blue skies. Not a single cloud in sight. Held delicately between his hooves was a thin, white piece of paper, words scrawled across it in his near illegible hoof writing. Dude, do you have fucking dysgraphia as well? Poor handwriting, bros.
Is that a dysgraphia thing?
Poor handwriting? Yeah, that's like the entire thing of it.
Oh, man. I have the worst handwriting.
Do you have dysgraphia?
I don't know. It could just be my eyes, you know? I need glasses.
Why are you writing with your eyes?
I don't know.
I think I see your problem.
It's really difficult. Aren't you supposed to, like, put the pen in your eyelid?
Oh, God.
Then you, like, turn your eye back and forth to write.
Why? Everyone just leave. Get out of here before he continues.
I'm sorry, everybody. This was supposed to be for October, not for Pride Month.
Ironically, it isn't horror, despite the otter guy writing gay horror. So, interesting.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we can bring him back for October.
Maybe. Sunscratch, he used to call it. The area was quiet, but that wasn't unusual in the place Sunburst found himself in. No one was near him, and even the few specks of ponies he saw in the distance were more concerned with their own affairs than the yellow unicorn sitting by himself. He was thinking, and that was bad. It isn't right for stallions to think. Then they'll start getting ideas, reading.
What's that?
It's a Beauty and the Beast reference.
Okay. I knew it was Disney. For some reason I was thinking it was Hunchback.
Yeah, I can understand why. He dwelled on thoughts he didn't want to. Things better left alone. Looking to his right, a faint scowl on his face, he stared intently at the target of his ire.
I wrote a list, Spearhead.
Sunburst said.
10 things I hate about you.
No reply came.
Fine, don't answer. I always do the talking for us anyways.
Perfect. I don't have to do a voice. He coughed into a hoof to clear his throat, an abrupt sound within the silence of the area.
Firstly, I hate how you perch everywhere.
Sunburst snorted.
You always seem to need to be higher than me at every opportunity, and it's annoying. I always have to look up when I want to talk to you outside. Whenever I asked you to come down, you'd always just give me that damned smile and tell me you preferred being there. It was easier to watch out for me.
Yeah, that's how it is with Wizzy too. Fucking tall motherfucker.
Okay, you may not like the fact that I follow you everywhere, but it's just better. I can watch out for you from where you can't see me.
But I can see you, that's the problem, you're so fucking tall.
I'm wearing camo though, and that's supposed to make me invisible, right?
Yes. He glanced further down the page, finding difficulty in voicing the words despite the underlying frustrations buried between the lines.
Secondly, I hate how quiet you are.
Oh, fuck you.
You would always drone on and on and on about my research, and you never said a word in response besides the occasional nod or affirmation that you were listening. Always that same look on your face.
He recalled the look easily, perked ears, and a massive grin that always reached his eyes.
It's so embarrassing, being the only speaker, and everyone always judging our relationship as one-sided because I was the only one that talked. But it wasn't my fault. You never talked about anything.
Crumpling the paper slightly in his hoofs, Sunburst's scowl became more prominent as he did so.
That actually segues into my third point. You never talked about your problems with me. I never even knew you were injured until I would accidentally hold you in the wrong way. Because of course I screwed up hugs.
Another angry snort followed as Sunburst recalled the pained expression Spearhead would have whenever he answered that he was fine, always fine.
Ugh. Even worse, I had to hear from Flash Sentry that you had been seeing a psychologist for a possible depression diagnosis because of your work. Why would you tell your friends, but not me?
He slammed his hoof on the stone step.
Also, you snore louder than an Ursa Major, and sleep like one too. Nothing short of an apocalypse could wake you up, And even then, I think you wouldn't wake up until the meteor had already hit you.
Sunburst clenched his jaw as he recalled how peacefully he always slept. How comforting it was to hear the steady sound of his breathing as they cuddled together.
And don't get me started on your cooking.
This is number 5, by the way.
Ooh.
Sunburst rolled his eyes as he recalled the smell of burnt pancakes and maple syrup bottles every Sunday morning.
Why did you even think to cook the bottle? Honestly, my mother couldn't get me to learn to cook, but your terrible cooking made me pick up the skill really fast.
A strange hobby he still kept up with, as he'd learned to love cooking his own food.
So, fifthly... Wait, what number are we on?
He quickly scanned the page.
Sorry, sixthly, the paint. Oh, sweet sunspots. The paint! It got everywhere. I don't think I went a day without finding some new splatter on my cloak, research papers, or even my glasses.
It had mostly been his fault, of course, with how frequently he liked to work near Spearhead as he painted his latest art piece. Each one never failed to set Sunburst's heart aflutter.
Then, of course, there's the codependency. You clung to me everywhere.
Mainly due to Sunburst's anxiety and panic attacks. He had seen it once and never wished to be absent if it happened again. He cared too much.
Plus, there was also all the romantic sappiness. Silly pickup lines, flowers, and all of these thoughtful gifts. I hated it. Even with Princess Cadence's help, I could never get you anything better than books, books, and more books.
Which Spearhead always enjoyed, because he loved to learn new things. Sunburst's hooves hooked, as tears welled in the corners of his eyes.
Ninthly,
He continued, pushing through the emotions welling in his throat.
I hated that you were a guard, always galloping headfirst into danger. I never knew if our goodbyes were going to be the last. And even when you did come home, there was always new injuries, new scars, until...
He choked. The welling in his throat finally caught up to him. The tears flowed freely down his face as he cried out in pain. A sound of wordless agony. It took everything to regain control, to read the final words on his tear-stained parchment.
And finally, and most importantly, I hate that you made me love you.
Placing a hoof on Spearhead's gravestone, he admired the crystal work, beautifully carved quartz made in honor of the hero that fought back the Wendigos that had threatened the Empire. Patting the tombstone lovingly with a bittersweet smile on his face, Sunburst got up on his hooves. He nearly fell, weak from the outburst he had just had, but managed to stand tall.
Goodbye, Spear. Love you. I'll see you next month.
Then, Sunburst left, alone. The end. And that was 10 Things I Hate About You by Da Otter Guy. I'll be honest, I probably should have seen that one coming. But I fucking did not see that coming.
I don't get it. He's not dead, right? Like he said you'll see him next month.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Right? How could he hate
well,
this guy? He seemed so cool.
I'll just let Wizzy figure this one out on his own.
I don't like this story. Spearhead is a OC, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
You could probably just imagine him as one of the many guards.
I was kind of hoping they may have had like a memorial thing in the Crystal Empire for the victims of the Wendigo attack, and maybe this was actually a name that they had listed on it or something, because that would kind of be meta, you know? I don't know why I said meta.
I don't think it would be meta. Yeah, no.
I don't think it would be either, but it's something like that. That would actually be really cool to have a reference to a character like that for a fan fiction. But yeah, it makes more sense if it's just an original character.
Yeah. This is sad.
Yeah. I think this is probably like one of the saddest gay fics we've read.
Yeah. Could there be a sadder one? I guess Mirror Shards is pretty sad.
Jesus. Sunburst always at the grave of his lover. Sorry, that's right. Public boundary. He was at the grave of his father.
Dude.
Don't listen to me. I just remembered him being at a gravesite.
He and Flash adopted a kid at the end of that.
They did not, did they?
They did. They were, at least, adopting a kid.
Oh my god, I need to re-listen to that now.
He didn't just adopt a kid with a ghost.
Okay. Some people do that. It's called co-parenting.
Ghost parenting. So anyways, let's pretend that Spear whatever was alive for a second here. Would these 10 things be reasonable things to hate about someone?
No. Because, you know, you can't hate something justifiably about someone like this unless you bring it up with them. And I don't think Sunburst actually ever complained about this stuff as much as he is now.
Right, so Sunburst, you're an asshole. Fuck you.
Except for the fact that he was a guard. I bet he probably complained about that quite a bit.
Yeah, probably. I know I've complained about the fact that my brother's in the military, and that's my brother.
Man. Yeah, just think about the fact that he's actually like in the military in the Crystal Empire against these mythical beings.
Yet again, by the way, about those mythical beings, it says Wendigos again, but in the show it is specifically Wendigos because they control the wind.
Okay, I thought it said Wendigo. Yeah, Wendigo makes a lot more sense because they really don't seem to embody anything about Wendigos that much.
Yeah. I mean, it's very clearly a reference to Wendigos. Probably poor taste, but whatever. But they're not Wendigos, goddammit. This pisses me off. Fuck you to Otter Guy. And quite frankly, Sunburst, I'm glad your husband's dead.
Whoa! That was his boyfriend. You know that gay marriage is banned in the Crystal Empire.
I can't imagine that it would be.
They said it's powered by love. And that means pure love, not fake love. Like gay love.
God. The things that Wizzy says, man, like, he's the gay one on the podcast. Guys.
Cadence said these things in the show. It was crazy.
No, she didn't. Which episode?
Season 2, episode 27.
Well, damn. Cadence actually was introduced by that point. Like, barely introduced. Like, literally, the episode prior, she would have been introduced. I was rubbing my fucking hands going, say season 2, you son of a bitch, say season 2. And then you said season 2. And I was like, yes. And then you said 27. And I was like, fuck. She was introduced in episode 25, I think. 24 of 25.
Oh my God.
The season 2 finale introduced her in shining armor. But wait, actually. The Crystal Empire was introduced in season 3. You fuck. Oh. I found your game.
I'm sorry, but she probably could have been like, you know, talking about how they need to ban it in the rest of Equestria, like they did in the Crystal Empire, if she was introduced as a character.
How would she have known that they did that in the Crystal Empire? I guess she could have, but, like, I doubt it.
I'm trying to figure out which episode I actually named, and I can't figure it out.
Because there is no season 2, episode 27.
There isn't?
There isn't.
Oh.
The episode where Cadence was introduced is the season finale.
Oh, that makes so much more sense.
So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Geez, Sunburst, get over it.
I would like to point out, in this picture at least, Sunburst very much looks like a goat, not a horse.
Oh my god, you're right. And he does have the goatee.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that really sealed it for me.
Oh, now I'm gonna only be able to think of Sunburst as a goat from now on.
Sunburst is the goat.
You asshole.
Even those ears, they're like very goat ears.
You're right. When you're right, you're right. And that hair, that is very goat hair.
Like goats are always rocking dues like that.
Yeah. And the glasses too.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, goats are always struggling with nearsightedness.
They are. They definitely don't have some of the most impressive eyesight in the animal kingdom.
Is that a fact?
I don't know. I just know that they have weird eyes.
I know they have those weird looking eyes.
I'm just really hoping that it is a fact.
That would be hilarious.
Their eyes just remind me of fucking mantis shrimp eyes, which I know are the most impressive.
Oh, God.
Or at least one of the most impressive.
Now, this is something weird about My Little Pony. Horses have eyes on the sides of their heads. Why do all the ponies have, like, human-looking eyes that have glasses that fit normally?
Because it's for toddlers.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew it.
When you bring up a criticism like that, there's only one answer. Like, I don't know. I can't tell you shit, man.
It wasn't a criticism. It was an observation.
It sounded a bit like a criticism.
Okay. Tomato, tomato.
Bless you. Do we have anything else to say about this?
I love gay Sunburst. That is it.
He's okay. Bit nitpicky if you ask me, but whatever.
Can't help but complain about every boyfriend he has in the fanfictions we read.
God. Why can't you just be like us and hold it in?
Yeah. Like settle. Settle for a nice fella. Settle for a nice doctor.
I'm trying to get Wizzy to settle for me.
Who will get you a nice home in the suburbs. Near me. Mom.
Wizzy calling himself mom. I like it.
Sorry, grandma.
I like that less.
That is my official title, actually. I am Abuelo Wizzy.
Although, actually, knowing Sunburst's mom, she would do that. She would say that.
It actually shows Sunburst's mom?
Yeah, and, well, continuing with the tradition, she's kind of a MILF.
Sunburst's mom has got it going on.
And that was the episode, everybody. Thank you all so much for listening to this Pride Month special, not special really, just Pride Month episode. We appreciate you joining in. Have a happy rest of your Pride Month, unlike these gays. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Mwah.
See ya. I tried to move my Adam's apple in a weird way and it didn't work.
Try it again.